Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Lenovo ThinkPad T15. So this is having a fan error, so we're going to see if we can, figure out what's going on with that. So we're going to be using a JIS1 screwdriver, or PH1, alright, and we're going to remove all the screws from the bottom. Okay, you want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. It looks like actually maybe on these the screws stay in place. But anyways, if this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Again, it looks like these screws actually all stay attached to the cover, so you don't need to worry about removing them. You just have to unscrew them so that once you hear them click, you know that they're kind of no longer holding in place. And that's good. Also, there's a little hole here. That's usually a battery reset button. You use like a needle or a bent out small paper clip and you can open that. Alright, once we got all those screws, we're going to get in the gap here and we're going to pop this out if we can. Okay, let's see if we can find an opening. Let's see, it might work better this way. Let's see, each model's a little different, so we got to figure it out. So I get my fingernails in there and then I'm going to push on the back and see if we can pop it, and it looks like it's working. Okay, so go like that. Basically we're rotating it like this to undo the clips. Okay, so we're just going all the way around to the edges. Oh, this outer edge is kind of tough. There we go. Close the laptop. We're going to go around the sides as well. Okay, so once we got all of those, we're going to kind of try and get in the edge, side edge here, and unpop all these clips. Okay, just like that. Oh. It helps to have longer fingernails. I actually cut them a little while back. They're still somewhat long, but not quite long enough to make this super easy. You can use plastic pry tools as well. So yeah, alright, and be careful, you don't want to pry up that little card piece, I don't think. So we're going to skip over that piece and go over to the side here. There's also a little piece here that we need to kind of unclip, but let's see. Okay, that's tough, so we're going to just go over, we'll skip that little piece because, can I get in there with my thumbnail? Not really, no. Okay, so we skipped over that piece. We're going to see if we can continue working our way over here. Do we have to remove this piece? This looks like a little SIM card slot, but okay, it doesn't look like it's attached to anything. So I'm pushing with my thumb here and pulling here, and you can see it's all popping out. And we're going to continue working our way over. Alright, I think all that's left is that little piece. Let's see if we can lift it. The screws might have, sometimes they get stuck still, so you might have to untwist it while you're kind of lifting it. And there we go. Here we go. We got the bottom cover off, and you can see all these screws stay in place. So yeah, they have little washers that help hold them in. Okay. Alright, so they're getting a fan error, and as you can see, it's clogged up with a lot of dust. So most likely we're just going to have to clean this out and we should be okay. I'm going to show a quick look inside. This laptop does have liquid drain holes. If you spill something in the keyboard, you can see a hole here that connects to this little piece. So if you spill something in the keyboard, you kind of want to just let it drain out. You don't want to flip it upside down or anything on this model, I believe. But yeah, we're going to take a quick look. You can see the fan is actually somewhat, is it integrated with the heatsink? It's attached to the heatsink somehow. Most likely they have like screws on the bottom or something, or maybe it's just part of the whole heatsink. But we're going to see, hopefully cleaning this out will fix it because it is pretty dusty. So yeah. Alright, this Ethernet port is a separate board, so if for some reason that stops working, you have this, and you have this kind of connector. This one, it just pushes into place, and then there's the flip latch kind of connector here. Okay, it looks like there's a connector that goes into the screen back here. I'm not going to take everything out because they're just having a fan issue. I don't want to risk damaging anything else, but I kind of wanted to show what's in here. You got the speaker here, connects to this. And most likely there's a cable running somewhere. Oh, I guess both, there's two speakers in here. Wireless card is attached to the motherboard, so you can't really change it. Okay, then you got a M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD here, one screw. There's this, I think this is a WAN card port for like the type that uses a SIM card or something. I don't know. I've never messed with these. All right. And then you got the CMOS, BIOS, RTC, real-time clock battery, whatever you want to call it. You got this connector here, which is for whatever this thing is. Let me open this up and see. Is there anything there? I don't know what this is. NFC or something? Yeah, I don't know what that thing's for. Or there's this thing that says JNFC1, so maybe it's not NFC. It says JHLSR1. I don't know what that stands for. But there's one for NFC here that's not being used. Battery connectors right there. You got all these connectors. I'm guessing one's for trackpad and keyboard. I don't want to take it out again because I don't want to risk damaging other things. And then you got this connector here that runs over here to this USB port. Yes, I'm guessing one is for keyboard and one is for trackpad. Actually this says JFPR, so fingerprint reader, and this might actually have a separate board under here for the trackpad, keyboard, and everything. I think it might be attached that way. All right, and then as for the type of RAM, this comes up. So I don't know if there's integrated RAM. I don't think there's another stick on the bottom. There's not enough of a gap underneath the motherboard to fit one. So the RAM is integrated, and then there's a slot here. It looks like DDR4, PC4 RAM. Okay, there's also a case intrusion little switch here, so it knows when this cover's lifted off. And then there's another connector here, JSC1, which I'm not sure what that's for either. Anyways, I'm going to try and clean the fan up, and then I'm going to put this thing back together. And yeah, all right, I'll see you guys in a bit. Maybe let me get I'll get a thumbnail when it's clean. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. It's all cleaned up now. As you can see, the fan is nice and clean, and I can actually spin it. So, moment of truth, we're going to actually open it up, power it up, and see if the fan spins without giving an error. So, again, there's a case intrusion switch here, so I'm going to hold that button down, that little, it's like a lever kind of thing. All right, and then we're going to turn this on. Hopefully I didn't miss any of the case intrusion switches, and this is the only one. But we're just going to power it up and make sure it's powering on. I think we should be good. So I'm going to hold this out of view just in case, because it might show customer information, and then I'm going to have to shut it down. But it's booting up. It didn't give a fan error, so I think we are good. All right, and actually the fan's not spinning yet, so I might have to wait to see if the fan spins. Actually, let me see if I can put it this way for you guys to see. The fan isn't spinning, but the computer booted up without any issues. Let me restart it one time to make sure. I want to see if the fan is going to spin. Okay, so I'm going to restart. And let's see. Sorry, I'm still holding that case intrusion switch. I want to make sure that the fan starts spinning. It's restarting. I can probably let go of the case intrusion switch and it'll be okay. So far the fan isn't spinning, so computer restarted. Come on, spin at least a little bit. Is it turning back on? Okay, it's starting back up. Interesting. So it's restarting. The fan's not spinning at all, so it's not even telling me if there's an issue with it or not. I might have to ask the customer what their password is so I can do a CPU stress test on it to force the fan to spin, because it's not getting hot enough yet for it to start running. So yeah, all right, let's see here. So I'm gonna shut this down, and then I'm gonna have to see what the customer wants to do. I'm gonna have to ask them for their password because it's not giving the error right now. So I'm gonna ask the customer their password, and then we'll see if I can run a test on it to cause it to heat up and cause the fan to spin. All right, so I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. So I plugged it in and then I powered it on, and I actually saw the fan spin, but only for the initial boot up. Let me see if I can show you that. because right now it's not hot, so it's not spinning. But let me shut it down and then I'll power it back up and show you guys the fan spinning, because before it wouldn't even spin a little bit. So I think it should be good now. All right, so I think it's off. Let's power it up and you can see the fan is spinning. All right, so that should be it. Let's go ahead and put the cover back on. And yeah, that's all there is to this. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. If you're not sure how to remove any of these kinds of connectors, I have lots of different models that I've disassembled that are basically very similar. So if you want to see how to remove certain types of connectors, I actually have a video in one of my playlists. It's called General Computer Repairs or something playlist. So if you go to that playlist, I did one where I took apart a MacBook where I laid out all the screwdrivers and everything. That one has almost every single type of connector that you would need to do. Also, this connector here, I didn't mention, is the LCD LVDS connector. There's a little flip latch, this little metal piece here. You can flip this over. A lot of Dell laptops use that on their screens, but this metal thing flips up and then you can pull this back, all right? So keep in mind, if you can see that little bit edge there, it flips over, goes across the back of that connector and then goes back down. All right, so that means this connector that's under here is most likely for the cameras and things like that. Okay, anyways, let's put this thing back together. Basically just line it back up, click everything back down. Okay, pretty straightforward. And then get all the screws back into place. All right. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You're welcome to stay as I get all these screws back in. But there's not much else to it. Usually I like to twist them backwards first to feel it click. That way I know it kind of went into place. All right, you hear that click, and then we twist it in. Okay, same thing with this one. Backwards and twist it in. Okay, looks good so far. All right. There we go. Last few screws. There we go. It's not clipping in. There we go. Okay. And this is a ThinkPad T15 Gen 1. It actually says down here. Okay, I'm going to double check all the screws, make sure everything's nice and tight. And we should be good to go. There's a little dust here, even though I kind of blew the rest of it out, but this is on the back of the metal piece. Okay. There we go, and that should be it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.